Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. This is Nareen, and as you know, it's the weekend, which means it's time for Friday findings. I know I haven't posted yesterday. There were quite a few guests over, so as a result, I couldn't find the time to um, post my video, but this post is actually very interesting considering the material that I'm going to share today. Now, both of these, before I begin, I do want to say that both of these studies that have happened different different medications, but both of them actually show some very nice benefits for some of the smaller demographics of patients that are out there. And considering that both of these demographics are also somewhat important and somewhat um, necessary to also find treatments for, I think that um, both of these uh, both of these articles actually showcase something that is very big and very important, and so great that they are being included. So with that said, let us begin with both of these stories. On to our first story. So, our first story actually concerns a study that is currently being done in regards to ubituximab, or in other ways, Briumvi, right, as it's known better. So, what is Briumvi? Briumvi is a medication that is given in the form of IV, and it's very similar to Ocrevus. But there are certain differences that do make it somewhat special. One thing is that Briumvi does take a lot shorter of a time to infuse, so as a result, patients do have the ability to um, get in and out of daycare or any such healthcare facility a lot quicker. But today what we are talking about is, of course, the use of Briumvi for children, and especially children that are showcasing MS symptoms. This is very important because until now there has been only one multiple sclerosis drug that has been proven to be helpful or used for children who are showcasing MS symptoms, and that is, of course, Gilenya. But going back to what Briumvi has done, this has been a stage 2/3 trial conducted Briumvi's by Briumvi's creators, which shows that uh, children are able to actually respond well to Briumvi, especially when they're showcasing MS-like symptoms. And this is very important because as of now, just like I mentioned, there has been only one drug that has been allowed by the US FDA to actually treat MS patients. And this trial was actually conducted on two sets of children, one weighing from 25 to 40 kilos. Yeah, that's a little young. I do remember when I weighed 25 or 40 kilos, but I think that it was much more of a progression from like 30 kilos all the way to 60 kilos. So I'll let you be the judge of when that actually ended up happening. But apart from that, there is another study that is being conducted which will evaluate the use or effectiveness of Briumvi on children aged 10 to 17, and using Briumvi at that point in time. Now, this is a huge thing for me because, as you know, I was also diagnosed with MS at the age of 16, and back then there was only really getting the steroids and then pretty much letting me off and waiting until I turned 18 so that I could start a possible treatment, and my treatment was one of the APCs. But with that being said, now that there are, very strong, very powerful, very high efficacy drugs that are being tested and are showing positive results for MS patients, especially ones that did get very early diagnostic of very early diagnosis of MS. Um, in fact, even to the point of these children, you know, showcasing them as early as 10 years of age. This means that, there is the possibility of children in the future that actually did get multiple sclerosis or are showing multiple sclerosis symptoms to actually be treated at such an early age that they will barely feel the impact of MS for a very long time in their life, which honestly, knowing that there is going to be a future generation which is going to where there are heightened chances of MS actually being diagnosed, this is some great news. And I do want to know what your opinions, what your thoughts and insights are. So please do share them so that we can get the conversation started about this piece of information. As always, the link to the article is going to be listed in the description of this video. So yes, please do share, please do read the article, please do share your thoughts, please do share your opinions, because this is something that hits a little closer to heart, especially for me. So thank you, and we will go on to the second study. So let's get on with the second study that was conducted, and this regards Roche's fenebrutinib. Now, we have gone over a lot of BTK inhibitors and what are some of the current studies that are going on. We have definitely seen one that was not able to make it through, while another showed some very promising benefits. Now, Roche's fenebrutinib trial is also one of those that actually shows promising results, and this trial, in fact, the conclusions of this trial pretty much indicate that using fenebrutinib, especially for primary progressive MS or PPMS, might actually prove to be even beneficial to patients who are, taking fenebrutinib to combat that PPMS. Now, this again becomes something that is very, very important in this day and age. Not only are there a lot of not only are there very small, very minimal options available for people with progressive forms of MS, and their therapies, but a lot of them are more or less available to pretty much maintain the course of the disease, and they pretty much try or attempt to you know slow down the progression of the condition. But as far as fenebrutinib's trials go, fenebrutinib, or at least the use of fenebrutinib in these trials, has shown that patients have actually reduced or gotten better as a result of taking it during the trial. Now, what does that mean for patients with primary progressive MS? First of all, it does show that there is the possibility of them actually leading lives that are going to be a lot better than the ones they currently do with their current treatments. And it is definitely going to show something where they are able to regain certain things that they were not able to do because of having something like PPMS present in their bodies, in their lives, essentially. And that, of course, creates something that is very important, and I do hope you understand why this one will also be something, if it goes on through, if it does in fact receive the allowable approvals for use in primary progressive MS. This is also going to be a huge game changer in understanding and pretty much effectively managing multiple sclerosis, especially in the progressive form. So again, please do share your thoughts, your insights. Please do share any knowledge that you might have in regards to either to this study. And with that said, we can definitely start a conversation regarding that. So thank you so much for reading, for listening to this second article. And as always, the link to this article will be available in the description section of this video. So please do read it, and please do share your insights on what you actually read or what you got from this article. So thank you so much, and I hope that you can definitely share some of your thoughts, share some of your insights, so that we can get a conversation started. So, with both of these studies or both of these articles that I have shared, obviously there is some very, very big, some very, very good news that is present right now and definitely present this week for multiple sclerosis. Of course, there are going to be things that are going to be found at a later date that might, you know, turn the entire pool of MS patients may be a little smaller, but knowing that there has been some benefit that has been drawn from these two trials that were conducted, there of course is going to be much more beneficial things that are going to be found later. So yes, please do read these articles, please do think about who they can help. And having been a patient who has been diagnosed at a very early age, and then now almost shifting from a relapsing form of multiple sclerosis to a progressive form of multiple sclerosis, I do find the importance of both of these articles, and I do see that there can be some very big findings, some very big things that can happen because of the starting steps that are happening with both of these trials and both of these articles being released. So yes, please do share your thoughts, please do share your comments, please do share your insights, and of course please do share anything that you might have in addition to these articles that can actually help not only me but everyone else also understand the importance of therapies for multiple sclerosis, so that we can build a better, healthier world where where diseases like multiple sclerosis do not need to create as big a problem or be as debilitating as they were and still might be for some people. So yes, do share all of that, do engage in the conversation, so that we can definitely come to a certain understanding of what these two articles, the information that these two articles present, what importance they have, what impact they will have. And of course, let's hope for a much better future for the patients of multiple sclerosis. And with that said, thank you so much. I know it's a little too late to wish everyone a good night, but I do believe that there are going to be people for whom it's still night time. So of course, good night, sweet dreams, and I will talk to you tomorrow, which is later today. Bye.